We're back, peeps. Don't worry about what's going on in the back, okay? But today, welcome back to Cookmas Day 1. Yes, we're doing Cookmas. I know y'all didn't think I was gonna leave you hanging, even though I did leave you hanging. But you know, you can count on me to be consistently inconsistent. We're gonna be making In-N-Out smash chicken burgers. So I'm gonna be doing it with chicken. I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I feel like the In-N-Out burger is not just the patty, less about the patty and more about all of like the other stuff that comes with, like the monster veggies that it comes with. You can add secret menu stuff like animal style, the chopped chilies, which is my personal favorite. So that's what I'm gonna be doing, and I'm gonna see if it tastes the same today. But yeah. So we're gonna start off with our super simple buns. I'm gonna be doing 1 cup of warm water, about 105 degrees, with 2 teaspoons of yeast. I'm using active dry yeast, so that means I need it to bloom in the warm water. If it were instant, you could just throw it in the flour. I'm gonna weigh my flour, and this is bread flour because it has a higher gluten content. Then I'm gonna weigh out 1 egg, a half a tablespoon of salt, 1/4 cup of shortening. If you don't have shortening, you can use butter. I'm gonna throw these all together in the mixer, starting with the water, the egg, salt, and shortening. I always add in the salt last because I have this fear that my salt is going to kill my yeast. Something that happened to me at one of my first jobs a long time ago, and now it's like traumatized me. So I add the salt at the end, so the salt doesn't kill the yeast. And sometimes I even forget to put the salt because I'm waiting till the very end. I'm gonna knead it for about 10 minutes on medium speed so you can really develop that gluten. I'm going to grease my bowl. If I had cooking spray, I'd just use cooking spray, but since I don't, I'm just going to use a little oil and my pastry brush. I'm going to let it rest for 2 hours. I let it rest for 2 hours. You can let it rest until it doubles, which is about an hour, but I've noticed that the longer that I let it rest, the more connections it makes, and it gives my anything that I'm making just a nicer, softer, fluffier texture. After it's had a chance to double in size, you guys, I'm going to just poke it down or punch it down, but I like poking it because it's so soft. I'm gonna weigh it out, and I'm gonna do 3.5 ounces, and you don't have to weigh it, but I like mine to be a consistent size all around. I'm gonna flatten it down, and I'm gonna pull it into each other, if that makes sense. So I'm basically gonna be tucking and rolling at the same time. And I know it doesn't look like it because I have these long, awkward, sausagey fingers. You kind of tuck and roll till you get a nice smooth top. Then I'm going to be greasing up a couple of rings and putting my buns in here. You don't have to do this. I'm only doing this for you guys. And then I'm going to flatten them out because I don't want such a round top. I have a history of making Krabby Patty buns, so I don't want them to be so round. I'm just going to flatten them down a little bit. And then for the rest of the buns, I'm going to be putting them on a sheet tray side by side. Then I'm going to put them in the oven at 425 for about 14 minutes. My oven runs a little hot, so you want to do it until it browns on top. Then I'm going to go into cutting up my chicken thigh, and I'm doing chicken thigh because obviously it has more flavor and more fat. And I'm just going to chop that up. I don't want to be biting into huge chunks of meat, so you want it to be nice and minced. After that, I'm going to weigh them out 2 ounces each. If you've ever had an In-N-Out burger, the patties are pretty thin. So I'm going to be doing 2 ounces each and 2 patties per burger. I'm going to put that between 2 pieces of parchment paper, and a quick tip, don't be like me. Spray the parchment paper or your chicken will stick. Yes, I struggled getting them in the pan. So after I smash that down, I'm going to start on our onions, the nice little tidbits that go with the animal style. I'm going to be doing them caramelized. I'm just going to chop up this onion to a fine dice. I'm going to be adding it to a pan with a little bit of canola oil, and I'm going to cook that on medium heat because I'm in a rush. I'm not trying to like wait all day for these to caramelize. So I'm going to cook it on medium heat and constantly stir it until it gets nice and brown. After that has had a chance to caramelize, we're going to take it out and we're going to get started on In-N-Out spread. So I'm going to do 1/2 cup of mayonnaise, about 3 tablespoons of ketchup,
2 tablespoons of minced white onion. I think it just gives it that little kick. I'm going to do 1 tablespoon of dill pickle relish, about a teaspoon of granulated sugar, and I do about a tablespoon of white vinegar because I feel like that also gives it like tartness. Mix it all together, and then boom, here's our spread sauce. Super easy, super simple. And let it sit in the fridge for at least 30 minutes. Flavors gotta marry each other. You guys know how that goes. We're gonna start on the vegetables, which are super simple. I'm gonna be doing iceberg lettuce, an onion, tomato, and chopped chilies. This is how my order goes. And obviously the best way you can get it, in my opinion, of course. I'm gonna have it and then quarter my iceberg lettuce. And then I'm gonna take off the leaves, like a couple of leaves at a time, and then cut it diagonally because I think that's exactly how they cut it and the way that it looks on the sandwich. And of course, we're trying to make this legit. Then I'm gonna slice my tomato nice and thick. I did a little bit of thin, but you wanna do it thick because you want that tomato taste. And then I'm also going to do the same for the onions. You don't have to cut these as thick, but I like onions, so I'm going to cut it like a little bit thick. And then I'm going to go in with my chilies. These are just hot chili peppers, and I'm just going to chop those up because I like chopped chilies in my burger as well as on the side. Now, after all of that is said and done, we're going to get to cooking our chicken burgers. I'm going to be putting a generous amount of oil in my pan because if not, it will stick and we don't want that. And I highly encourage doing this in a cast iron or a stainless steel so you can get that nice caramelized burger or chicken burger. Salt and pepper these. You want to make sure your heat is nice and high so when you put it in the pan, it can caramelize fairly quickly and not overcook the chicken. I failed at that, so make sure your pan is hot. I learned a little tidbit about In-N-Out sandwiches and the cheese. And make sure you're using American cheese because something about fast food burgers and American cheese, they just go together. So you got to do it with American cheese. I'm going to be having my cheese, fold the cheese 3/4 of the way so that you can see the patty and the cheese. So I'm actually going to be just doing mine in half. You can do it 3/4, but it actually was perfect because it looked exactly like the In-N-Out burger when I put it together. And I'm only going to be melting that for like a second. I don't want it melting and making a huge mess in the pan and like melting all over the burger. I just want it melted enough that it's not cold. We're going to toast our buns. Don't judge me. I walked away from the pan. Don't do that at home, kids. Make sure you're watching your buns because they will go up in flames in like 2 seconds. We're going to do the In-N-Out sauce first. I'm going to put my chopped chilies and my caramelized onions, my tomato, and I think this is the exact order of In-N-Out aside from the caramelized onions. Put the lettuce and then the patty and then your onion and then your patty. And then I put a little bit of sauce on the top bun because I want it extra saucy. And then boom, there you go. I'm going to wrap it up so it looks like a legit In-N-Out burger, but I promise you guys this was so freaking good. Such a great alternative if you're not trying to do red meat. I might even try a salmon one in the future. That might be good. Or vegan one. A vegan one would be good too. Anyway, if you're still here, leave me a burger emoji down in the comments or hashtag #CookmasDay1. And I'll see y'all in a second.
All right, you guys, we are back. This literally looks like a legit In-N-Out, but when do I not make legit copycats? First, I just want to say, look at this bun right here. Look at how nicely toasted it is. Oh man. Oh my gosh. The fact that this is chicken doesn't even matter. Put a little extra secret sauce. No, it's not secret sauce. What is it called? In-N-Out spread? Babe, come try it. Come try it.
Oh, it's fire.
It's good, right? Can you tell the difference? Wow, that was good. I think that's a good alternative to beef. So if you want an In-N-Out, if you want an In-N-Out burger but with chicken, it can be done and it tastes exactly the same, in my opinion. In my humble opinion, it does. I got a jet, guys. There's so much stuff on me. I gotta go because I gotta edit this video, and I'll see y'all in the comments.